What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Team Chat Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Jerrett Wilson, joined by Jerrett Mogan.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno to you as well.
I should try to learn like a full greeting sentence in Italian.
Yeah.
Throw that one at you
or just
one
random
day.
Foreign languages in general.
Just random.
So you just spit them out to me.
Right now, I'm really kind of hovering just at like Italian, Spanish, occasionally French. I need to branch out. What other language? I don't know how to say hello in Russian.
See, I was just thinking Russian. Oh, man.
Wait, yes, I do, because Zarya says it. Privet.
Privet.
Yeah, I don't know if that's actually correct. She might be saying fuck.
And then I would actually be able to. Then I would actually be able to respond, because then I could be what is it? It'd be like cocktail is how are you?
Oh,
and
yeah.
And then Horosho is very good.
The stuff that we learned from video
very
games.
Good. Now, I actually learned that because I tried to learn Russian for a very short time, because I went with my dad back when I was 13, 14 years old. He went over to the Ukraine to teach at a Bible college for 2 weeks, and then he took off a week in between, so he was there for like 3 weeks, and I went with him. And I was like, hey, I'm going to try to learn some Russian before I get there. Hard-ass language.
It's a hard-ass language.
It's a very hard language. And, they try to tell you that before you start. But I jumped right into it all willy-nilly, thought, I can learn this.
Yeah.
I walk away with only a few things, and I didn't even remember, like, Privyet or anything like that.
It's fine.
I just know the only ones that really have stuck with me is cocktail, because that is how are you, and then Ochin Horosho is very good.
Hey, man, that's more than I've got.
And that's
good
about
job.
it. And
Thumbs
then
up.
Strozvitsia is like, thank you, I think.
Sure.
It could be something else. It could be please. I don't remember.
I'm going to go play Zarya on Overwatch now and just spam thank you and see if she'll eventually say it and be like, okay, that's the one. I'm going to write that down.
I know that one. Man, speaking of Overwatch, I haven't touched that in like weeks.
Really? I was at a concert last night.
Oh, who'd you see?
No, it was like a charity concert.
Oh, okay.
So it was just a couple of local Austin artists.
Fun.
Beth James Band was one of the artists.
Have not heard of that one.
They were very good, actually.
Nice.
The first guy was not good.
Oh, no.
But the second people, the Beth James Band, they were okay. Would listen again.
Shout out Beth James
Yes,
Band.
shout out to Beth James Band. So anyways, I did have a little too much to drink. So when I got home at night, I was like, I'm going to play some Overwatch. Good
There
old
you go.
drunker watch. And I actually did pretty well in my placements. I'm not done yet, though. So.
I haven't played since the middle of the summer games. I
That's
played for a
fine.
little bit. I've been
much has
hitting other things. Well, I had Guacamelee too. I had a couple other
Yeah.
things that I was trying to get through, so I just haven't played it as much lately. But earlier this week, I was like, I haven't played it in a while. This is probably the longest stretch I've gone without playing it.
Overwatch is just such a good game now that I know how to do it to like play very absent-mindedly.
Oh, yeah. You don't have to think about what you're doing.
You can just suck at it.
Oh, yeah.
Who cares?
And it's still fun.
Yeah, and it's still fun.
Still tons of fun. I'm still trying to win a free-for-all match as Hammond, or Wrecking Ball, excuse me.
I played 8-player deathmatch Mystery Heroes.
Oh, yeah?
I guess have they had that mode before? Because it's like deathmatch, but it's Mystery Heroes. So every time you die, you come back as someone else.
I've played that. I've played Mystery Heroes before.
I didn't know. No, but this is just in deathmatch.
Oh, no, that's new then.
And I was like,
snap.
that's crazy.
I'll have to play that then.
And I was actually allotted Genji for a time.
How'd you do?
Still finished second.
Nice.
So even as Genji, I got like at least a couple kills. And then I don't remember. Oh, I was Torbjorn. Anyways, the point is I almost won.
Time for work.
Oh, Torbjorn.
Oh, Torbjorn. But hey, in case you didn't know, this is Team Chat Podcast. We're just here gabbing about all the things that the video games, the ones we love, the ones we hate, and everything in between. That's what we talk about here on this show.
We all hate Torbjorn.
Oh, man.
Wait, do you suddenly love Torbjorn?
No, it's throwing me
on
on
this?
No. It's just I had to come out of the intro for a second to address this. They are announced. Blizzard did just announce like a couple days ago, maybe even yesterday, that they're planning it. They like laid out what his massive rework's going to look like.
Oh, really? For Torbjorn?
Yeah. So he might be not quite so of an annoying pick anymore, but have to read up more on that. I don't know all the details for that one, but. New episodes of Teen Chat Podcast come out every single Tuesday at 9 a.m. Central Time. And you can listen to those across podcast services around the World Wide Web, as well as watch a video version on YouTube and Twitch. So, announcement on that. I think I've pretty much figured out what I'm going to do. I'm going to stream the episodes for Twitch, since we can't do the premieres anymore. Twitch episodes will be live streams. Obviously, they're pre-recorded, but they'll be live streamed. And I'll just do those 9:30, 10-ish. Those are kind of gonna be a little bit more as my schedule allows, since I can't schedule those and have to run them. So like if I have shoots or something else like that, but it will go out on Twitch and we'll let you know. But I'm still gonna shoot for Tuesday morning Wednesday morning at the latest.
I mean, we can just call them funsies surprises.
That's true.
Surprise episodes.
Just log on to Twitch and we might be there talking about video games. You never know. We'll hide all notifications that we're going live. But like I said, you can watch video versions on YouTube. Those go out also Tuesday 9 a.m. or you can watch Twitch if you choose to follow us there. If you want to also find us on social media, you can look at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, as well as joining our Discord channel. A lot of fun stuff there. The sign-up link for that is in the episode description. So go check that out. And also, if you have any other general feedback or questions for us that you'd like to ask, you can send us an email at teamchatpodcast@gmail.com. Finally, we are a completely listener-supported show. So if you're really loving and enjoying what we're creating, head over to patreon.com/teamchatpodcast, where for as little as $1 a month, you can support the show. And in return, we'll give you a cool perk, like getting the episodes a day early on Monday morning before their general Tuesday morning release, and access to a patron-only channel on our Discord.
The Rogues Gallery. Oh, dear.
Ooh, I like how in sync we were with that. Yeah. That was good. That was really good.
We're just always
there.
On
just
the wavelength.
Just clicking. But you can check that out again, patreon.com/teamchatpodcast. This is going to be a fairly news-heavy episode. We're kind of in this nice...
a lot happened.
A lot happened, and a lot is about to happen.
Yeah.
Because we're kind of in this middle ground. In full disclosure, and if we get to it, and we run through all these other things first, we might still get to it. But one of the things I was planning about talking about was I've played the first few hours of We Happy Few, so I was going to kind of do a first impressions of that. But we're in this weird space where we've got, like Mogan was saying, some stuff happened in the last week that we got to talk about. But we're just about to hit all those fall releases.
Yeah.
They're coming in hot and heavy.
It's going to be a fantastic fall. So just kicking it off right now with what's out now and coming soon. So as of this episode's air date, Valkyria Chronicles 4 for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. The gang's all here. There. Valkyria Chronicles 4 is coming out September 25th. Pathfinder, Kingmaker is coming out for PC also today. And then, of course, the one that we are both so excited about. It feels so soon. I feel like I'm not ready.
I know. It feels like it's...
Yeah. It's kind of like how just sprang it on us.
Well, it's kind of like how Shadow of the Tomb Raider, it came out and everybody was kind of which I thought was just us, but then I kind of feel like it's been everybody. Yeah. Of everybody being oh yeah, there's a Tomb Raider game out.
I just feel like they really didn't hype it enough.
Yeah.
But anyways.
With this one,
the thing that we're talking about is Life is Strange 2 Episode 1.
So excited.
It's coming out for PS4, Xbox One, and PC September 27th.
Nice.
On September 28th, a much worse game that nobody cares about, FIFA 19, is coming to PS4, Xbox One, Switch, PS3, the 360,
they're still holding on to it,
and PC. Okay, I mean
that kind of makes sense because those games do have such a big playership.
I was also lying when I said earlier that the gang's all here. I was wrong about that. The whole gang includes the PS3 and the 360.
That's true. This is the whole village.
Yeah, this is just everybody and their mother. And then Dragon Ball Fighter Z, or Fighters, depending on how you want to say it, is coming to Switch September 28th. So it is, of course, already out, I believe, for PC, PS4, and Xbox One, but now it's on Switch as well. And then in the very near future, on October 2nd, we have Forza Horizon 4 for Xbox One and PC. We have Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise for PS4, and then Mega Man 11, which actually looks like a really good game. There's a demo, I believe, available for Switch right now. Mega Man 11, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC, all of those October 2nd.
Very nice. You know that Forza Horizons, a lot of people are very excited about that one.
Yeah, I know. That was the one that they displayed at E3, right? Mm-hmm. Where it had the really cool looking online mode where everybody was just chilling.
Yeah, you could just run up to another car and be like, hey, you want to race? And it's yeah, let's race. And you're there. Honestly, I'm not into car racing games. It looked fun.
It looks pretty interesting.
But you know who's very excited for it? Because I told him about it. Our good buddy Zachary Parks.
Oh my God, is he? I just assumed he had died.
No.
It's almost like we can hear his voice.
When I ran into him at a concert a couple weeks ago, I was asking him so what you been playing, man? What you going? Because last time we talked and stuff about it extensively. He was still playing Fortnite, and I've gotten in Fortnite, so let's gang up. And he's like, no, I'm off Fortnite now. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I'm all about that F1 right now.
Oh.
And so he's been watching F1 races, getting excited about the F1 stuff that comes here to Austin. And so then he's like, so I've been playing a lot of Forza. And I was like, well, dude, you saw the stuff about Forza Horizon 4, right? And he's like, yeah, I did. And it's about to come out. And I was like, yeah, it's the one with all this stuff. And he's like, dude, I got to get it. You got to get it, man.
He's got to get it.
Got to get it.
There has to be someone out there still playing racing games because clearly they keep making them.
Yeah, big market for it, apparently. Just not in my wheelhouse.
Get it?
Wheelhouse.
Because cars have wheels, people. This is top shelf humor.
Top shelf humor going on right now.
This is the quality people are really subscribing for.
This is what the people come to see. All right, but we did have a couple other news things. So, those are all the things that are coming out soon. So obviously, like I said, Mogan and I we're very excited for Life is Strange Season 2. But, then next week after that is Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Mario Party. We just figured out.
Mario Party for the Switch.
So those are big games coming out. Then the 12th is the Call of Duty Black Ops 4 release, which I have pre-ordered, and I'm going to talk about here in a little bit. So that's coming out. Then, of course, there's like a week break. Then at the very end of October 26th, is Red Dead Redemption 2, which is going to take up all my time.
It really is. So, I'm expecting to I'm going to have to run the show solo for a couple of episodes.
I'll just be over here playing still while you're just up here talking. You're like, Jerrett, you want to come over? No,
I'm busy. God.
My pony needs attention.
My pony. Please name him Speckles.
Speckles. So this is a good segue then, because a lot of news came out within the last week too, because they did finally have they released some more information about Red Dead 2. They actually let some journalists play it. Journalists were able to talk about it. Unfortunately, we were not one of those people who were invited. Maybe next time. Rockstar will hit you up. We'll get have our people
3?
Maybe
in the year 2023.
Exactly. Be a long time. But they did announce a whole lot of little things, such as I was just looking through a list on GameSpot. Let me look at the article so I can give credit here. Red Dead Redemption 2 beta Red Dead Online releases in November. So basically, that was the big news, is that
I'll play the beta. Is that coming for PS4?
Well, the beta is coming out. I don't know if it's Sorry. I don't know. I would have to check. I think it's only available for people who buy the game.
Oh, okay.
But basically, this also, though, the nice thing about it's going to come out a month after the game releases, the beta for Red Dead Online, which is going to be the obviously the online component to the game, where the big multiplayer stuff like this, which did a huge measure in quieting my fears that I was having about the game.
Oh, okay.
Because, obviously, Grand Theft Auto Online, making bukus of money. And so Rockstar would be stupid, quite honestly, to ignore that with whatever they do with Red Dead. But I did not like Grand Theft Auto Online. I tried it. It just wasn't very fun. It didn't speak to me. I was getting sniped by dudes who were level 562 because they spent billions of their own money on the shark bucks or whatever it is in the game. And so, it just wasn't for me. But obviously I love the single player of Red Dead. So I was very worrisome that what we were going to get was going to be a very strong single player thing. But goodness, could you so loud.
Sorry. So awkward.
Just had to get a sip of that LaCroix, This was apricot.
It's apricot.
It's delicious. But so that did a lot to assuage my fears about the game, because here, obviously, they're going to be two separate things. There's going to be the single player, which is going to have its big story, which there looks like it's going to be a lot. In the GameSpot article, with some of the big highlights that they were talking about, there were going to be things like you can lose your hat.
Oh no!
You can,
Indiana Jones's worst nightmare.
The one kind of funny thing, and also why? But I guess this is why this is going to be. They're just saying this game is going to redefine gaming. Your horses, if you're riding a male horse, your horse's testicles will shrink and expand due to the temperature that you're riding in.
Big pardon, good sir.
It's true.
What?
Apparently, if you're up in the mountains, cold shrinky. It's going to be. And then if you're just out in the plains,
cool girl.
So exactly
horse only.
It's one of those things. Is that's a cool feature. Why did we need?
How weird would it be to have on your resume as a developer, Rockstar Gaming, subset, ball developer for horses, horse testicle developer.
What'd you do on Red Dead 2? Well, you can really see my work. It tends to grow, but then in other parts, not so much. It's a little bit out of sight.
Extremely unusual.
Sorry, guys, I can't go out tonight. I got to read it. I really got to.
My balls are out of control.
Out of control. So, it's going to be a lot of fun. And then, too, obviously, this beta is coming out. Like I said, it's coming out a month after the Rockstar said that the beta for online is coming out a month after the release of the full game. So I was very happy to hear that news, that there is going to be a big distinction. I do want to play it, and I do want to mess around with it, because maybe I'll just enjoy the setting better of the Wild West as opposed to San Andreas of Grand Theft Auto 5. But we'll see. We'll see.
Indeed. In other news, briefly touching on something that I'm a little conflicted about. We talked about this in our Discord the other day. Sony has just announced their own take on the mini reboots. Mm-hmm. So they are releasing a mini PS1. So a tiny little version, much like the mini SNES and the mini NES, they are releasing a mini PlayStation 1. And of course, my first question, and Bro Mogan's first question was, well, is the best game of all time going to be on it?
Right, Jedi Power
The
Battles.
Legend of Dragoon. And I gather so far, perhaps no. But they haven't yet released a full list of confirmed games that will be available on the PS1 Mini. I'm not actually sure if that's...
Actually, PlayStation Classic
is
PlayStation
the official Classic.
Yes.
Okay. Well, on the PS Classic, they've announced that there's going to be Tekken 3. It's going to be one of the games that comes preloaded onto it, along with a couple of others that I didn't particularly care for.
So I'm looking right now. The only games, so it's going to have 20 games total. And I'm looking right now on PlayStation's website for the PlayStation Classic. It says here, so it's going to be 20 of the best games from the original PlayStation console, including Final Fantasy VII, Tekken 3, R4, Ridge Racer Type 4, Jumping Flash, Wild Arms, and then more.
Wild Arms. Actually, that would be a really interesting game to replay. I have very vivid, ingrained memories of looking at the cover art for Wild Arms. Mm-hmm. I don't remember jack squat about the game. I may have only ever looked at it. I may not have played it. But as I recall, I think it's a JRPG. I would play that again. But I didn't see on the list Chrono Trigger, which that could be a game that deserves to be...
It'll be interesting.
Wait, was Chrono Trigger for Nintendo?
Chrono Trigger, I'm pretty sure was for Nintendo. We'll do a double check, because I know...
Wait.
I'm going to do a check.
What about Chrono Cross?
So many Chronos.
I know, actually, that might be why I'm getting confused. Anyways, the point is,
I think Chrono Trigger was NES.
Maybe I'm thinking of Chrono Cross then, which hopefully...
SNES, sorry.
Chrono Cross.
No, it did come from PlayStation 2. PlayStation also.
So actually, I'm still kind of right, because Chrono Cross was for PlayStation. That may have been the one I was thinking of. Anyways, I didn't see Chrono Cross on the list. And of course, The Legend of Dragoon, the best game of all time. Not on the list yet. It better be Sony, or I'm going to riot. But yeah, so the original Final Fantasy VII, I feel like that's in part a bid to play up the eventual reboot of Final Fantasy VII that will come out someday. Who knows when? But I'm not entirely sold.
I'm not either, honestly.
On the PS Classic.
I would have to see the full game list.
And I feel like the reason for that is, in comparison to the NES and the SNES, old PlayStation 1 games, because of their CD format, are so much more accessible. You can much more easily make connections to make PlayStation 1 games playable still without having to go to great lengths. Whereas with NES and SNES, if you don't still have that console, you can't really play them because they're cartridge games unless you use an emulator like Dolphin or something like that.
Which is now funny that Nintendo came out with the NES Classic or the NES Mini or the NES Classic and the SNES Classic too, and then they come out now with Nintendo Switch Online, and now they're giving most of the same titles that were on the NES Classic are also now on that. So it's kind of interesting that they're doing it in both ways now.
Yeah. So the point is, I'm just not entirely sold on the PS Classic.
I'd have to see the game list.
Yeah. Especially since so many of their old games are getting these awesome reboots, like Crash Bandicoot and Spyro.
Yeah.
Those are two of the big heavy hitters of PS1.
And especially with both of those, it wouldn't make sense for those to then put the remastered versions of those games.
Exactly.
I mean, maybe if you wanted to for nostalgia, but I feel like with both of those coming out, with both of those trilogy, Spyro about to come out and Crash having come out within the last year, that seems like nobody would play it because I'll just play the new thing.
Unless it was some parent wanting to punish their child and
That's
be
true.
oh, you got to
play the crappy version.
You've got to play the bad version.
So, I mean, I would be excited if I did see. I was joking about it on our Discord also that I was just like, hey, the only games I care about that if they're on there are Jedi Power Battles and Masters of Teräs Käsi. Like that's what I want. But I seriously doubt that they're going to pay for Star Wars licensing on that
maybe
thing.
Not.
So that's if I see some of these other games like that, I'll probably jump on it. But if not, I mean, it's only going to be. Let's see, it's coming out in December 6th. I want to believe. Hold on, let me double check just to be sure. 6th or the 3rd? The 3rd. December 3rd for $99.99.
And another bit of controversy. Obviously, this makes sense because that was how the controllers looked back then.
Yeah.
The controllers for the PS Classic don't have analog sticks.
But I will say, at least they gave you 2 this time.
Yeah.
Unlike Nintendo only giving you 1.
So they gave you 2. But like, I don't think that it's bad that they didn't include analog sticks because that is how the original PlayStation 1 functioned. Mm-hmm. But I can understand for certain games how not having analog sticks could make it a lot harder.
Right.
So we'll see how it goes.
But it's out there and it's going to be a thing. You can pre-order it now.
Pricing on that?
I just did. It's $100.
Sorry, I just wasn't.
But yeah, you can. It's out for pre-order for most major retailers, and like I said, coming out December 3rd of this year. The one other news story that I'm excited about, and it's coming out this week because it's going to happen after this episode airs, which is why I wanted to talk about it. But it is almost Outbreak Day 2018, September 26th, which, for those of you who are not familiar, is the day in Last of Us when the virus breaks out, the outbreak. The day of Outbreak,
the day of the outbreaking.
So anyway, but they're teasing some things. Obviously, we're still waiting on that release date for The Last of Us Part 2. So that's my big hope that on this day, because on this day, it's typically like a big fan day. They'll put the games on sale. They'll have new collectibles, merchandise, different things like that.
When are you going to make your Joel cosplay?
I don't know.
I feel like you could do it pretty easily. You could do it pretty easily, bro.
I should Joel cosplay.
You should do that. And then dress Fender up like Ellie.
Oh, there we go.
That'd be so
sweet. So cute. But so this is according to PlayStationLifestyle.net.
PlayStationLifestyle.net?
Yes.
I didn't know there was such a .net. How fascinating.
It's out there. It says on the Outbreak Day website, there are 8 blocks of content, 4 of which are still a secret. The other 4, however, shown are plain as day and will be up for grabs on September 26th, 2018. So we still don't know. So it looks like there's going to be an avatar set, presumably comprising 8 different avatars based on thumbnail. There's also a theme, a PS4 theme. Ooh, that'll be fun. Which appears to have slight animation, a set of device wallpapers, for like phones and different stuff like that, and the release of The Last of Us Cycles, the official theme song for The Last of Us Part 2. So those are all the things you can get on there. But obviously, like I said, there's the secret things. So I'm still hoping, fingers crossed, that one of those things is going to be a release date.
Indeed.
It would be a good time. It's either going to be on Outbreak Day, which would be just kind of like a fun thing to the fans. Here it is. Or they would wait till PlayStation Experience this year, which would be in late November, early December. So it's like if we go through the end of the year without a release date still, I'll be like, well, what are we doing?
Especially how much they played it up at E3.
Yeah.
I mean, it just seems like they probably should.
We've gotten several trailers. We're getting tons and tons of game. We've seen gameplay footage now. It's time. It's time.
Plus, gamers by now are very accustomed to having a release date and then having it get pushed back.
Right.
So even if they wind up having to push back, I feel like no one. Yeah.
Like spring 2019.
Yeah, exactly.
Or spring 2020. God no. Please don't be spring 2020.
I really hope that they announce a release date and all it says is we'll put it out eventually.
It'll be out when it's out.
You'll have it when you have it.
And people still be like, okay, that's fair.
Like snarky parents.
But, so obviously very excited about that and really want to hit on that. Last bit.
Some unfortunate news.
Let me actually just restart this. Boop, boop. And really was a huge shock, I gotta say.
I'm quite surprised as well. We are, of course, talking about the very surprising and unforeseen closure of Telltale Games.
So this was actually announced yesterday, as of the day of this recording, which today is the 22nd, so September 21st. I saw this last night and was just shocked.
So technically this is hot off the presses, guys.
Pretty much, and still being updated.
Yeah.
So I'm referencing US Gamers, usgamer.net, their article, sources Telltale Games closes the majority of studio The Wolf Among Us 2 and Stranger Things canceled. Basically, they just announced, came out yesterday, that there was going to be big layoffs. They're only keeping, I think they have over 200 employees, and they're keeping only 25.
Well, it said that they actually laid off about 250 people.
Oh, okay. So they were closer to 300.
Yes, so they do still have a very tiny skeleton crew just to tie up whatever loose ends that they still have out there that are, I assume that they're contractually obligated to finish up.
Right.
But still.
And so a little bit of background for this. So obviously we all know Telltale Games as the developer of the Walking Dead episodic series, The Wolf Among Us, a Batman series, the Game of Thrones season 1, Tales of the Borderlands, the Guardians of the Galaxy, like all these other different things. And then now, like they had announced they were doing a Stranger Things ones, which honestly I was kind of excited for.
I'd play a Stranger Things game.
More than all these others. Because I will say right off the bat, like of Telltale Games, I've only played episode 1 of season 1 of The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't my thing.
And I'm not a fan of The Walking Dead in the first place, so of course I haven't played it.
Right. And then the other ones just never really sparked that. Obviously, I've gotten Tales of the Borderlands, Guardians of the Galaxy Season 1, and then I think Game of Thrones through PS Plus. And I just haven't got around to them. Honestly, like just because for one, the episodic genre never really appealed to me until I played Life is Strange. Maybe at this point.
And it's still kind of the only one that we care about.
Exactly. And to be fair, since we played it so late, we didn't even really play it episodically.
We just played a complete game.
And so, but still, for as much as they were and how popular the Walking Dead games were, especially, and then Wolf Among Us got a pretty good following too, for this to be so sudden is what's crazy. Yeah. Now, last year, though, in this article, it also references it. It says, quote, in 2017, Telltale Games laid off 90 employees in a restructuring of the company following years of mismanagement. And our report following the layoff, sources told us that following The Walking Dead, Telltale suffered from a constant culture of crunch that pushed employees to release games as quickly as possible. In addition to overbearing management teams that oftentimes meddled in projects, the Telltale tool proprietary engine was prone to bugs, making development even more difficult.
I mean, unfortunately, it is true that if your employees are constantly being overburdened, they're going to burn out.
Well, I think that's the big takeaway here is they were doing a lot of good things, but I don't think they bit off way more than they can chew, I feel like. I mean, in that list of all the things that of their different series, how many, I mean, they had to get some licensing from Marvel and Disney for Guardians of the Galaxy. Obviously, Gearbox and all that stuff had to give them stuff for Borderlands. Walking Dead is a huge franchise. And
whoever owns Game of Thrones copyrights.
Game of Thrones copyrights and all that stuff. So, like, they didn't go after small fish.
Yeah.
And so I feel like doing that, and then since they are doing the episodic release model, which granted is not like, hey, we got to get Assassin's Creed Odyssey out the whole game by this date. You still have to.
You're in the constant cycle.
Exactly.
Like there's no end to it.
Because you may get episode 1 done, but then you got to be working on episode 2. But you're also working on episode 1, 2, and 3 for X, Y, other series all at the same time. It's just and then add that on top of this, all this mismanagement that they're talking about here, and then also too, their engine was never great.
Yeah.
And what really sucks is that this final season of The Walking Dead, it was going to be like their unveiling of their new engine, or Wolf Among Us season 2 was going to be the thing. So basically, what they came out and said is that this is going to that the remaining 25 employees who are left are going to basically just keep the ship running to finish out some last minute some of their last promises, which from this article was going to be like their tie-in with Netflix and Minecraft. Minecraft was the other one they had. They had
my God.
They had a Minecraft story game too.
Lord Almighty.
So, and that is being tied into some Netflix show to some extent. So people were thinking then that this was going to be, that was it. Just okay. We'll still get the final season of Walking Dead. We just won't get Wolf Among Us 2 and Stranger Things and all that. But according to this article, that previously has now been known that is inaccurate. That basically the Walking Dead final season will not be completed.
That sucks.
It really sucks, especially for people who have played the game, because that has had 4 seasons. I think this is its 4th season. It's just had a lot of game, and for it to now just not get an ending.
You know what, though? I feel like that's prime opportunity for, like, casual fans of series who have a lot of tech experience to be able to make their own ending. People do that kind of stuff all the time. Like there are fan remakes of Metroid games. There are fan remakes of all kinds of games. So I feel like...
Well, and this isn't to say that these games are dead forever. Like their licenses and IPs could easily be picked up by another studio if another studio chose to do it. Yeah. So, it's very shocking because even though everybody knew that there was trouble, like there had been some trimmers and different things happening that kind of shook things up, especially with like the layoffs in 2017. But after that, everybody
had trouble for 1,000 years.
EA's just way bigger, and got way more.
They're just weathering the constant storm.
They've just got deeper pockets. It's probably, but it's just still weird. So hopefully, though, in all this, obviously, hopefully, all the people who have now lost a job will be able to pick up and find other jobs. I did actually see, I believe somebody on Reddit shared it, or maybe just been retweeted on Twitter. But Ubisoft did reach out, and they said basically like, "Hey, Telltale people, like we love." Basically, like we're like say, come to this place. It was like a park or plaza thing, and like we'll bring snacks, drinks. Like let's talk and figure out where we can.
I think
try to
Santa
make
Monica Studios did something similar as well.
Nice, so that's great. That I will say, and this is probably. I have yet to see it, and I could have just missed it. But I will say that is the one thing I love about the games industry. That something like this happens, a studio closes, and it's not just like, oh, it shut down, that sucks. You see other developers, big developers, small developers, being like, hey, Telltale people, if you need, we're terribly sorry about what happened. If you need something, here's all of our jobs. Come talk to us. It always seems to be such a supportive community and industry, which I think is really cool.
How eerie would that be, though, to be one of the 25 people, approximately left?
Oh, yeah, who made it?
To be just one of the very small skeleton crew, like in an office that presumably used to house hundreds of people.
Yeah.
That would be so weird.
So weird.
Oh, man. I bet they start every day with a shot now. They're like, okay, guys and gals, let's just strap in.
Or they're just playing games all day.
They might just be playing. That might be the mismanagement they were talking about.
Seriously.
Maybe they were always starting the day with a shot.
Who knows?
Who knows?
But yeah, so unfortunately, that is some pretty bummer news. But hopefully, that all the people affected
we should have started with the bad news.
We should have.
Why did we structure it this way?
Oh no, I don't know. Well, I guess technically it's in order of the release of the news coming out. So.
Whatever.
But still, yeah, we should have gone hard first and then
we were supposed to do the management thing that they do when you're getting critiqued. You start with something good, then something bad, then something good. You sandwich it.
That's true.
You got to use the Oreo.
That's true. But we didn't. Sorry.
Well, we're bad managers.
Oh man. So yeah, I don't know if I want to get so this is kind of the thing about with We Have Few. I don't think I want to get into that because I did want to also talk about a little bit about the Call of Duty Black Ops Black Ops 4 Blackout Beta that came out within the last.
I feel like that's a prime example of bad naming. That's a bad name for a game.
Blackout's not the name of the game. It's Black Ops 4 is the game. Blackout is the name of their Battle Royale mode. And so that's just the distinction.
If you're not playing that mode in the literal dark, like from Hellblade, I don't want to play it. It should have to be.
That'd be really hard.
That would be really hard.
So hard. But yeah, but I don't want to spend too much time on it. I'll very quickly touch on it. But I will say I went from having zero interest in Black Ops 4 to a whole lot of interest in Black Ops 4.
Now, I feel like I have heard the name Black Ops 4 in the past. Mm-hmm. Is this a remake?
No. There is because Call of Duty, obviously they cycle development of their games between the three different studios, and so right now it's Treyarch's turn, and Treyarch handles the Black Ops series. So there has been Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, and now Black Ops 4.
I guess I just get my wires crossed all over the place.
I mean, there's a lot of Call of Duty. Yeah, there's a lot of it. There's a lot of overlap and everything there. But this one took a couple big steps. The first big news about Black Ops 4, if everyone will remember, is when they were first starting to talk about it and announce it, they said there's not going to be a campaign, which there's always been a campaign in Call of Duty. And everybody's like, hold the phone. Don't know how I feel about that. But they've now just kind of come out in interviews and different things saying that like, hey, we understand, but development's a process. It's changing. We're trying something new this time. Right. And honestly, I'm okay with it. Black Ops 3 campaign sucked.
And I mean, if there's any series that's able to take risks with what they're doing, it's Call of Duty. They have the capacity, as proven before, to release some subpar games.
And they're still going to be bought like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, even if Black Ops 4 isn't good, they still will make money on it.
Absolutely they will. And now it really seems like they did something incredibly impressive with the Blackout, their take on the Battle Royale mode that's coming out. And so that's what this beta was to show off and to play. I first started because a couple of the different streamers I watch on Twitch, they were playing it because when it came to PS4, and I was just like, at this point, the beta came to PS4 first, and I was just like, I don't really want to play. I'm not going to Black Ops this year because I got Call of Duty World War II last year, and I was just like, it's okay. It's not great.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
But then I started watching the streamers. Shout out Dr. Disrespect, Dr. Lupo, all those people.
Why are they all doctors?
Tim the Tap Man. I don't know.
Oh, I know Tim the Tap Man.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's funny. But I don't know why those two are doctors, but yeah, Dr. Lupo and Dr.
You should
Disrespect.
ask for their credentials.
Medical doctor.
Yeah, where's that doctor really coming from?
But so they started playing it. And so Dr. Lupo, he plays Fortnite predominantly. Fortnite, Destiny 2. He's been on Destiny 2 kick also too. Dr. Disrespect plays primarily PUBG and like H1Z1. Different things like that. And so seeing their different reactions to it, and Dr. Disrespect loved it. Basically, and then I was watching it, and a buddy of mine, Blake, he was watching it too, and we were texting about it. I was like, dude, we might have to do it because Blake and I, we play Fortnite a lot. And I was like, dude, I'm kind of getting sold on this game. Basically, what it is, and I don't think it's going to be a Fortnite killer. A lot of people are coming out and saying, hey, it's going to be a Fortnite killer. I don't think it's going to be a Fortnite killer. They're different enough to exist in the same space.
You can't change the minds of that many 12-year-olds.
No, and Fortnite has that more cartoony, younger feel to it. You get, the fun of the building and the crafting, even though I'm still trashed here at building in Fortnite. I have to rely on my aim, which still at most points lets me down. I did, though, finally actually win Fortnite
I saw you post that in the Discord.
I was so happy. I screamed so loud here in my house. I was just too excited. But anyway, so I did that. So I think Fortnite will be fine. It might see a dip in playership for a little bit just because people are going to be trying out the new thing. I do think it might kill PUBG.
Oh, really? Well, in my mind, PUBG is already dead, so.
PUBG it's the one, obviously it kicked off everything with this Battle Royale craze, but it's still, and I still watch people play it. I've never played Battle Royale. I mean, PUBG, I will say. But I've watched Dr. Disrespect and other streamers play it, and it just looks janky.
That's the thing. PUBG is not a pretty game.
No.
And that, you talk about this a lot with old school games, but with new school games that are not pretty, that's a turnoff for me because I'm like, you have no excuse.
Right.
There's no reason for you to not have a sleek looking product.
Right. Which I will say that not even, even in the Blackout one, I made this mention, and I feel like now looking back on it, I was maybe slightly a little harsh. With the Battlefield 5 beta that I played a couple weeks ago, remember I talked about on some of the maps, the textures look unfinished. Well, then after I started looking more into this, I was like, well, that makes sense. This is a massive map that needs to fit in 64 players at a time. Now move over to, so maybe not every texture is going to be pristine, especially a small thing like this mound of coal that I was crawling over and this doesn't look right. But then
this displeases me, Lord.
It does. This coal is not fresh enough. Pristine, no. But in the Black Ops beta, it was kind of the same thing. A couple times I was like, man, the grass doesn't look that great. The dirt doesn't, some of those things like that. But then here I sit, this is the biggest map in Call of Duty history. It's also the most, which is a lot of the other streamers and stuff called out. And then I was like, they're right. It's the most diverse, one of the most diverse Battle Royale maps. Whereas Fortnite.
In what way?
Fortnite has different areas. It has different towns and little places and things you can go. It has different terrain. But buildings are pretty much the same. They're going to have upstairs, the rooms are going to look the same. They're going to have beds and different stuff like that in there. The Call of Duty one had basically it takes maps that were multiplayer maps in older Call of Duty games and basically all puts them into this one big map.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So you'll have one that's a construction area and it's a big hotel that's being built. And so there's a parking garage area in there. Another one is a sonar area where there's a whole bunch of big dishes and everything. And all of them have different buildings, different feels to them, and different strategies for playing each.
That's awesome. That a lot.
I do too. It threw a whole lot more just difference in a new feeling every time you play it if you went to a different area, because you can still land at a random house in Fortnite and it's going to look like the exact same random house that you just landed at, all the way at the other end of the map, but everything's different. So it really provides a lot of great terrain differences. There's also rivers and stuff that you can get in and you can swim in them in Blackout. Not Fortnite.
Can you not swim in Fortnite?
You can walk across water. It'll slow you down.
Oh, okay.
But it's not. But you can't. It's not like you're just walking across the top. You
Gotcha.
drop down into your the big lake in the middle of it.
Okay. That's a shallow AF lake.
It really is. Must be just a man-made beautification lake. But anyway, but this one you can actually swim underwater. You can actually shoot your guns and stuff underwater.
Oh, that's cool.
and then you can obviously swim on top. So there's just a lot more. This one has, Fortnite has the golf carts and the shopping carts that you can push around. This one has ATVs, big trucks, helicopters you can fly around, and all of those, like if you're flying around a helicopter, your squad can jump on the side of the helicopter too and be like shooting down from up above. So it gives a whole lot of different stuff. Obviously, that makes sense because you're not having the building component of Fortnite.
Right. Oh, okay. So there's obviously no I should have thought of this, but there's no building.
There's no building, which honestly to me is why I think I'll like this one better than Fortnite. Now, see, like I said, I'll still play both. I still really enjoy Fortnite, and I've really enjoyed playing it, especially over this last season, which is about to end, or actually over by the time this episode's coming out.
Did you ever get the Infinity Gauntlet?
I never did, but I did kill Thanos.
Oh, okay, that's exciting.
To win the game. So back when that was a thing. So no, there's not the building thing, which makes me think, and because I've played Call of Duty is one of the oldest game series that I've played, I feel like I'm going to jump back in and get the feel for the game and the mechanics of it and how to play it right and play it well. A lot better than I'm going to be at Fortnite.
Right.
Granted, there is this new thing about it, which is very similar to PUBG, where in the fact when you start, you don't have anything. You have to find a gun, but then you'll find like attachments and things that you can equip and upgrade your gun. You have to find armor. You have to find a backpack. All those things are very much taken from PUBG. But overall, Blackout just ran and does run so much better.
Does it?
Than Blackout. Like, it's so clean. It feels like you're just playing a very over-glorified version of just normal Call of Duty multiplayer, which obviously, as you know, the Call of Duty series, that's what it's known for, is its gunplay.
Yeah,
and how well that
mechanically
feels. Mechanically
speaking,
great.
Yeah.
And so it just made for such a fun experience. Plus, I don't know. It felt more. You do have, like, in Fortnite, if you don't have a gun, you have your pickaxe that you can use as a weapon. And this one you have, you can punch and stuff like that. But it just everything about it feels faster and frantic and more frantic.
So this would be a great comparison then to you played the beta of Battlefield the other day,
yes.
didn't you? And you didn't really like the pacing of it. So you would say that the pacing for Black Ops 4 is a lot better then.
Oh, so much better. Now, granted, difference in the fact, whereas the Battlefield beta that I was playing was for its conquest mode, which does have respawn and all that other stuff. Blackout, you die, you have to start a whole new game.
Gotcha.
But even then, which is the saving grace of battle royales, is that you can always find a new match quickly. If it took forever because of how many people are having to play to find a new match, that would be terrible. But
be a deal breaker for a lot of people.
Really,
the
probably
modern
for me
gamer
too.
is not a patient person.
Well, I mean, God, no. It's like,
who has that kind of time?
Lately, For Honor, I jumped on For Honor not too long ago, and it was taking like minutes to find even just a match for me by myself. And I was like,
For Honor,
come on now. I know you're about to have the new expansion kicking out in October and all that, but still, come on now. Like, these wait times are atrocious. But no, so at least you can do that. So no, you just run around, you die. You'll be like, crap. But I will say, a lot of the time, I hardly ever got killed by somebody I didn't see.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
Which is nice. It makes me feel like I was playing. Actually, the second game I played, I got in 5th.
Oh, okay. Out of how many?
80. When the beta started,
the
beta starts, they only did 80 people. Near the end of it, they bumped it to 88, and then right before the beta ended, they bumped it to 100. Because people weren't quite sure yet what their numbers were going to be.
Right.
But I got to 5th, and it wasn't by just hiding out in a corner somewhere. I got to 5th with like 4 kills. So that's better than I do on most Fortnite matches.
Yeah, good
so I was like, oh yeah, I'm feeling this. I'm feeling good. Then obviously I had lots of matches too mixed in there, where I dropped down, did a hot drop, as I like to call it, just dropped right into a hot landing zone, hot LZ, as they say.
Is that what the kids are saying?
That's what the military says.
Oh, okay. My bad.
I'm getting serious about this now. And just
Call of Duty is for serious gamers.
It really
like
is.
serious things.
And so just land and immediately get shot by somebody who picked up a gun faster. But I still just enjoyed the mechanics of it. There are tons of different weapons, tons of different layouts and ways to mix and match your gear to fit your playstyle best. Tons of different like grenades, flashbangs. You can have it even has like a grapple gun, which looked pretty sweet. I never really got to use it, but then the map also has like these areas that can have like an activated event. Like, you go to one part, obviously Call of Duty Zombies is a huge part of the series too. You can go, there's a part in the map that has like, you'll activate zombies or like aliens will attack and different stuff like this. So you can throw in more variables than just the other people you're playing with. So
and potentially the zombies or aliens could get everybody else.
Potentially.
And maybe not you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got killed by an
cool.
alien once because I was trying to shoot it in this like graveyard, and it was just being a bullet sponge and just wouldn't die. And I was like, okay.
Sometimes you're just not going to live.
It's just not a good day for me today.
Sometimes the gaming gods say nay.
They said nay hard. But yeah, so no, I really enjoyed it a lot. I think it's going to, it honestly, like the streamers and watching it being played, or who was like, I was like, oh man, I got to pre-order this. Like I got to play this and try this out. Tried the beta, and the beta just even sold me more on it. So I'm feeling the same amount of excitement for this one as I did last year for Assassin's Creed Origins, as I see it as a potential turning point for the series again.
All right, okay.
Because, I mean, it's still going to have zombies. It's still going to have normal multiplayer. And the Black Ops multiplayer have always been good. Like, even though the campaign for Black Ops 3 was not good, multiplayer was great.
Awesome.
And so I'm expecting good things from that outside of the Blackout mode. So because the Blackout mode and how well it's being received, I'm incredibly excited for Call of Duty, which I feel like I haven't said that in a long time.
All right. Yeah, those are nice words to hear, because even though I, a superior-minded gamer, sneer upon the Call of Duty series, I still like to see them do well.
Yeah. I mean, we never want to see more Telltale, closings.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Like that. So you always want games to go. I always want games to go well.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of
strong, and especially with games like Call of Duty, strong profits for Call of Duty does often translate to more opportunities for side projects.
Yeah.
And that's how you get some of the really cool games coming out of bigger studios.
Exactly.
Because they're like, yeah, we've got a little extra capital. We can spread our wings a little bit. So
Yep.
When one game succeeds, maybe others fall. PUBG.
We all. Yeah. Well, I mean, considering how big of a hit PUBG even took when Fortnite took off, if you're getting a game that incorporates a lot more elements of PUBG than Fortnite and runs better, is
and
more fun, looks better, has more things. I'm sorry, PUBG. Your days might be numbered.
They might be. Anyways.
But that's all I have to say about that.
Okay.
All right, well, before we go, everyone, and wrap up with all that different news, obviously, if anybody played the Call of Duty Black Ops beta, the Blackout beta, or any of the other games, or have additional thoughts, feelings, concerns about some of the news and things that we've talked about, let us know by replying in the comments sections below on this YouTube video, or on the Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or email us, teamchatpodcast@gmail.com, or let us know on our Discord by joining that. Remember, the link is down below in the episode description, so you can find it there. But before we go, we do have to hold with tradition and do our soundtrack spotlight, which Mogan has prepared for us today.
So I have been watching some cool people play Donut County, a superb indie game from Ben Esposito, aka Ben Despacito. We cannot confirm if that is actually one of his nicknames.
He is the designer of the hit song. He
probably hates it. But anyways, Ben Esposito, he is also one of the key creators of What Remains of Edith Finch and the Unfinished Swan game. So those are both really fun and interesting indie games. And this is Lazy River from Donut County.
There we have it, Lazy River from Donut County. So listen to that after the end of this episode, which is now. But that concludes this episode of Team Chat Podcast, everybody. Come back next week at Tuesday, 9 a.m. for another episode, which I'm going to go ahead and say and throw it out there as a spoiler alert, is going to be our first impression / review of Life is Strange Season 2, Episode 1. We are so excited.
We are so excited. Oh my God.
So if you loved our previous episodes on Life is Strange games, you can go check those out
those way back when. Quality episodes. Quality
episodes. You will not want to miss this one. Again, we will have a spoiler-free and then spoiler-filled version of parts in the episode, but that is coming out next Tuesday, so a little bit of something good to look forward to. But until next time, I'm one of your hosts, Jerrett Wilson, joined by Rachel Mogan.
Sayonara.
We'll see you all next time. Stick around for the song.